couple of weeks ago, the City of Detroit Lakes held a special City Council meeting in which they were presented the feasibility study from the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area Group. This has been a hot topic here in the Lakes area for about the last 2.5 to 3 years, ever since former Becker County Administrator Brian Berg first brought it up to the county board in a public meeting, and it really took off from there by a couple of very prominent residents here in Detroit Lakes and business people. Now, they finally gave this feasibility study to the city, something that the city had spent $25,000 on, the Detroit Mountain Recreation Group had spent $25,000 on, and another group in town gave $25,000 too. So it was a $75,000 study. Basically, in that study, it says the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area will be a go. It's something that can be a go if two things are met. One, there can't be any property taxes paid on the 200 plus acres, and two, it's got to have no debt. So it'd have to be in a nonprofit, and the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area says they can be that nonprofit. And they say the city's cost would only be $300,000 would be the public donation they're looking for from Detroit Lakes. Now, Detroit Mountain Recreation Area has been a hot topic, as I mentioned here, for a long time. The last county election, in fact, was probably decided on this topic when John Belfi was unable to seek re-election when he was beaten by Donald Scarry, after Belfi seemingly was very supportive of the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area and Donald Scarry was not. And then John Okeson defeated Cindy Anderson in the other commission district race when it was very similar. Cindy seemed much more open to the possibility of the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area. John, much more reserved on it. So that brings us to now. The county is basically out of it. In fact, after the feasibility study, Councilman Ron Zeman asked the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area if they would go to the county. They seemed lukewarm on that, but the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, the county's spoken on this. If Detroit Mountain Recreation Area is going to happen, it's got to happen in the city with the city. I compare it to the Viking Stadium. The Viking Stadium benefits who the most? The Minnesota Vikings and the city of Minneapolis, the state the least. I believe Detroit Mountain would be a similar type thing. It would really benefit probably the community and the local groups involved with it, the city of Detroit Lakes the most, and then probably the county as a whole the least. So I don't really have a problem with the city stepping up and taking further action into this, or at least looking into it. Now, Ron Zeman mentioned that there is a lot going on in the city right now. Can the city afford $300,000 to do this? Well, on September 11th, they're going to hold a committee meeting and discuss that. On September 18th, they'll hold a special city council meeting and try to make an opinion on that. But the project itself is $6.2 million. So the only way to get it without any debt would be the $300,000 from the city, $600,000 from what they call new market tax credits, $2.9 million from a DNR grant to form it into a regional park, and $2.3 million would need to be raised privately by the Detroit Mountain Recreation Group. Now, they said this thing will cash flow itself. So why doesn't a private business do it? Because the conservative estimates are it would make about $31,000 a year. And I don't know a single businessman that's going to invest $6.2 million into something that's only going to give him back $31,000 a year and would take many, many years in order to recoup his investment. So if this gets done, it's got to be done in a format like Detroit Mountain Recreation Area. There's a lot of controversy around it now. I know things like the City Beach, the Detroit Lakes Community and Cultural Center, and even the golf course weren't slam dunks when they were first put and proposed to, and they took city influence. I believe this could be looked at as one of those down the line. And I think it's worth going for. The problem is, can it be done, and do we have enough public will and support to do it? We'll know by the end of this month, because that's when the grant deadline ends to try to get $2.9 million from the DNR. And if we don't get it by the end of this month, how much longer are the property owners going to sit there and hold it in trust for the possibility of a park that might appear one day if they know it's not coming now?